Hey everybody, and welcome to another SciCraft episode. This is the third episode. We're working on the piston bolt towards the new mushroom island biome. So we want to build a new mushroom farm there in order to get steak and leather. And we've been searching for the ideal spot within 100,000 blocks from spawn. So ideal spot for a mushroom farm for our server is to have a mushroom island biome that is as large as possible, so we can make a really large farm. So usually the mushroom island biomes are limited in size, and we just searched for the largest mushroom island biome within 100k blocks from spawn. And the closest we found that is nearly the max size was at 22,000 minus 46,000. So that's a huge distance. If you would try to walk or swim there, or use a boat in the overworld, it would easily take you 3-4 hours to get there. That's why we're going through the nether. Distance is only in 8s there. And in order to get there even faster, we want to build a piston bolt. Obviously, using elytra would be another option, but it's more convenient to use a piston bolt, since just get in a minecart and then you can AFK for a few minutes until you arrive. With the elytra, you use your resources, elytra takes durability, and you also need rockets, so that's why piston bolt is more convenient. In the last 2 episodes, we already made a lot of progress using all kinds of machinery. So first we used a diagonal tunnel bore to make enough space for the piston bolt, and then we used an AFK rail placer to place all of those rails here. So this was basically a rail duper and an AFK player placing them. So we used this for the diagonal piston bolt, which is about 2700 blocks long, and also for the straight one, which is about 1800 blocks long. So this is still quite a distance. In total, almost 5,000 blocks worth of piston bolt. Unfortunately, that's all machinery that makes sense to use in order to assist building this. The rest needs to be done by hand. Also, we need to make a choice which design we want to use. So let's maybe head over to the Nether hub to get some inspiration for this piston bolt. So here we are in the main SciCraft Nether hub, and we have piston bolts going to all kinds of destinations and directions. And sometimes we use blocks that match the theme of the biome or farm they would lead to. For example, this is the piston bolt going towards the snow and ice farm. That's why we use snow, packed ice, and ice, for example. Sometimes we just use blocks that are easily available. For example, this leads towards the old wizard skeleton farm, so we just use some stone, diorite, and clay. This is one of my favorite piston bolts towards the mega tiger biome, so you can find coarse dirt, which is used here for the blocks that power the pistons. Pot soil to place the rails on. Here we need a spawn-proof block, that's why we use the spruce leaves. Spruce logs on the outside, and then we even have mossy cobblestone balls and mossy cobblestone at the top. So the next one is towards the sugarcane farm. Here we used endstone bricks, probably just to do something different. And there's also a really nice one going to Gnamon's passive mob farm. This also looks really good. Then Netherwort farm, and also like this a lot towards the melon farm in the jungle biome. So what all of those piston bolts have in common on our server is a standardized tunnel or size of the tunnel. So the room inside is usually 4 blocks high, and it's 5 blocks wide. So technically you could even make them 3 blocks wide, and you could hide the redstone by powering the pistons from below. But I think it's a bit narrow, and 5 blocks wide just feels right in my opinion. Also, 4 blocks high is quite nice. You could even fly in there, because it's technically a little bit faster than the straight ones. If you're really in a rush to get somewhere, you could even fly in there. There's just 3 blocks of air in between. And in between the 2 directions, we usually have a dividing wall. Alright, so for the new piston bolt, I also want to make something in the theme of the mushroom island. And I guess it's best if we head to the creative world to come up with a design for the piston bolts. Alright, so that's what we have so far. We have mushroom blocks with rails on top. So let's continue designing it. So on the side, we need some kind of a spawn-proof block. already placed it for the younger one, so we use those stairs here. So we still make those piston bolts spawn proof, despite having a mob switch, since it could happen that you, for example, restart the server, log out, or the server goes down while you're at the Mushroom Island biome, and then I need to head back to the main Nether hub in order to activate the mob switch again. And yeah, obviously you want to take the piston bolt, and then if you would have mob spawning between, they would actually interfere with the minecarts and break the piston bolts. So here we need spawn-proof blocks, because we have the pistons on top. So every second block we have a piston, and here you need an air block. That's why we have the spawn-proof block below. Alright, so let's continue with those pistons here. So you alternate the sides, and yeah, you need to bend those rails, which I'm not doing here, it's just to make a mock-up. Then I would say we continue actually with the dark oak planks. They're quite cheap. And we have a dark oak farm. Alright, but now let's add something that's more in the theme of the Mushroom Island biome. I think mycelium for the blocks, the powder pistons would be nice. Yep. That would definitely work. Unfortunately, those blocks are not really spawn proof. I was thinking about putting mushrooms on top, but this doesn't make it spawn proof. But we could use the flower pots. We already did it once for a piston bolt towards the Guardian farm. This would be spawn proof. Maybe we could put whoops. Then we could put the red mushrooms in. Obviously there's a lot of effort, click like 6,000 times, but even more. I think this looks kind of nice and makes it spawn proof. Alright, then we need some kind of a wall. So let's add a few more blocks here on both sides. So it's always kind of nice to get a sense of the speed, is to break up the design every 10 blocks or so. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then let's do another spruce log. And so the room should be 4 blocks high, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we could add a girder going above. Yeah, and it's already pretty much it. The only thing we need is a carpet to make the piston spawn proof. I think red carpet fits nice. Set all counters. That's just the carpet mod we have running on creative. And then we obviously need the pillars on both sides. Alright. Then we need something to fill this up. So I'm thinking glass blocks. Maybe brown glass. Or panes even. Panes are harder to place. This could get annoying. And glass is actually cheap. We have the sand. I'm not so sure. Maybe use something else. Maybe fences? We haven't done a piston bolt of fences yet. This might also look interesting. Or a combination of fences and glass panes. This would be easier to place. Maybe put fences on top and glass blocks in the middle. Glass pane. Kind of like brown for glass actually, but let's also try light gray. Okay. Looks a bit odd. Just the top part looks odd. Maybe if you fill it up with glass panes and just have the fences at the bottom. I think this could actually work. Maybe another layer of fences, then it would be easy to place. Because it's easy to place a pane against a full block, but placing a pane against a pane is, yeah, painful. So fence would already be better. Oops. Yeah, I think this could work. Alright, and then we also need the opposite direction. I'm actually planning to do something different. So usually we have the dividing wall in between, but this time I don't want a wall in between. So I'm just placing some logs here. That's what I thought about. Actually, oh, we don't need those here. This needs to be closer. And then we could this here. Could have this here. So here will be the stairs next. Yep. And then the mycelium blocks here. And then in the middle, you still need to make the spawn proof. Maybe we'll add another light source, rods maybe. There's not a lot of options to make it spawn proof. Yeah, I think this could work. Okay, then I want some kind of a ceiling on top. So we usually do for all the piston bolts is have sealants every second block. So we started this at some point and just kept up with it. And I think it's always nice if you have slabs around the sealants. So you can only see half the block sticking out. And maybe if we put stairs here. Yep, I think that's good. Alright, so we're pretty much done. So maybe more stairs here. And maybe in the middle to break it up, also a pillar. This also could hold the weight. Yeah. And then we just need something in between. So one last block, maybe that fits. Maybe more mushroom blocks. Or the brown ones. So I'm still at 1.12, they're not in my creative inventory. I'm not too sure if mushroom blocks are fitting here. Maybe some terracotta. Yeah, that's the brown one. I think this could look interesting. Yeah, if we have those in between, definitely breaks it up a little bit. So I made a complete tunnel now with the second direction, and I changed my mind about the fences here. I think the second fence looked a little bit odd, and yeah, that's why 3 layers of panes, 1 layer of fences. I think this is, yeah, looks decent. I mean, I can definitely live with that. The second layer of fences would look a bit weird. Alright, also made a diagonal version, and those are huge compared to the straight ones. So that's why building a diagonal piston bolt was a lot more effort, but if you think about it, you move actually 2 blocks every step. So like one slice of diagonal piston bolt equals 2 slices of straight one. You could also go straight and then over, but diagonally do it all at once. So it actually evens out, and you're faster in the end of the diagonal one anyway. Okay, so what I did a bit different here, because the doesn't transfer that well, is using fences. If we would use fences here, this that definitely looks weird. And same goes for the glass planes. So if you would replace it with panes again, it just doesn't work on the diagonal, because gas could shoot through there. It just looks weird. Technically, you could connect them again or something like this, but then this is even more effort to place and still looks a bit odd from the outside. From the inside, it's also kind of weird. That's why I'm using just full blocks here. what I would also have loved to use are the bark blocks. As top here I'm using the spruce logs, and I think it would have been better yeah, if we would have the bark block from 1.13. Technically you could make it like this, so you don't see the underside. This would actually be better. Now I'm thinking about doing this actually, but then this is kind of hard to place because I'm placing the stairs against the full blocks here. So I'm already thinking about building this, and it's definitely better if you yeah, place those blocks first, and then I would need an additional block to place those against first. Yeah, just going with this. That the bark blocks would be perfect here. Unfortunately, we're in 1.12 still. Alright, yeah, this looks really spacious now. Kind of like it, so we don't have the dividing walls in between. But we had to make this bomb-proof here in the middle, so here just put end rods on top, because we also have them here. And technically, those blocks in the middle, they are not necessary. But I know it, I would fall through those holes, yeah, like 100 times building this in survival. Okay, that's why we have those spawn-proof blocks in the middle of the slabs and sea lanterns in the middle. I think this looks quite alright. Alright, so we're back in survival. I gathered some resources and made this little storage here. Unfortunately, we don't have enough resources yet, but I just want to get started. For example, that's all of the mycelium we had at the main storage. So we maybe need to build a mycelium farm in the next episode. Let's see. Yeah, anyway, so this is where the piston bolt will start. I can show you how to make the start station. So we need a dispenser that replenishes the minecarts, and we feed it from the bottom 2 additional droppers. I already made a little platform, so we just need 2 and move this bottom 2. Wait, the bottom one again, and then here we need a dispenser now of the 2 droppers. Okay, so the start button will be here. So just press it, and then we need a torch. So this powers the top dispenser and the second dropper with QC. In order to power the lowest dropper, we'll just place a block there. How do I get down now? Let's move this there. So now we can also move this. And here we just put some redstone dust on top, which I don't have in my inventory at the moment. Alright. Hope I have the rest. Yep. Okay. So under the button we place a sticky piston, but the dust shouldn't power the sticky piston. That's why we have to redirect it, so it only powers the dropper. And obviously here on the side we have a hopper connecting to everything. So basically the minecarts that arrive here will be broken by cactus, sent to a hopper, and then they're stored in a bottom dropper. Okay. Yeah, okay, now we need to add the sticky piston. Let me also break this one here. I hope with the observer, obviously not. Quickly get to my inventory. Should have prepared better, sorry about that. Alright. Okay. So now here we place the sticky piston, and the thing you need to do with the straight piston bolts, you need to offset both sides by a single tick. So here we add an upside facing observer for the right side. Okay, I'm out. There we go. And we would power this block here from the bottom, and just need to add a dust on top. Okay, so this is for the first piston that we can already place, I guess. And for the other side, so we just use a repeater on 2 ticks. Then here we add a sticky piston and make a monostable. So we just need another block. Here we could fill it up, I guess, with the stairs to keep the pattern Yep. Alright, so basically we have now 3 ticks for the piston, the bottom, plus the observer, so in total 5 ticks for the right side, and on this side we have 6 ticks. So those are 4 and 2 additional ones. So we have the offset of 1 game tick in between both sides. Now we could start curving the rails. There's line block here. So we could start here. If we're lucky, we don't have to power them. That's the issue in the, I think, north and west direction. East, great. You would need to power the rails, otherwise they don't connect properly. Okay, but in this east direction it's fine. Maybe let's add just 3 for demonstration. And there we go. Okay, we have the pistons now. I think I'll put a carpet here on top just to hide the torch. And Peter in between. Okay, just need to get a minecart. Okay, I got the minecarts. Now let's try out the departure station. Just for a test, okay. Minecart goes off and the second one also gets dispensed once the torch turns back on again. Right, I'll just continue here with the pattern. And the next crucial point will be the transition from straight to diagonal. Back in creative, because I had to look this up myself, how to do the straight to diagonal transition. So this is T5's piston bolt world. T5 is our piston bolt expert. He built a lot of piston bolts in survival, and he also made really nice concepts for transitions from diagonal to straight, straight to diagonal in all 4 cardinal directions, and also made departure and arrival stations. Right, now let's take a look from at the straight to diagonal transition. So the minecart is pushed on top of this block, and then we push over with a block that can be powered, so it takes off. With the powered rails, I think we need 2 to get enough speed. Then you go over the detector rail, and minecart stops here. We push over the minecart with an upside end rod. Has probably a correct hitbox. And doesn't get stuck, the minecart, maybe. Sometimes they turn a little bit if they go off the rails, and I think that's why we need the end rod hitbox. And then, in contrast to the straight bolt, where we have the offset of 1 game tick between the 2 sides, both sides need to be powered at the same time. So if we follow this, we have 4 redstone ticks in total if we power this first piston, and the same here. Alright, I think we could actually try this out. So this is even a straight to straight transition, and here, straight to diagonal. Alright, now I need to just build this up in survival. Progress update for survival. I've finished most of the straight part here and build up the transition to diagonal. Let's try it out. And there we go. Alright, so this part works. And I think that's pretty much everything that's interesting about building a piston bolt. The rest is now, repetitive, grindy, tedious, and really nothing for a YouTube video. One more progress update. A lot of the diagonal part is already done. I will show the completed bolt in one of the next episodes. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.